Hi, Kris.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Will you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Kris Poore, and I am the Executive Creative Director at ID Group. And we are a brand transformation firm located in downtown Pensacola. And I've been here for 12 years, so pretty long, significant time, but I've really excited because this has been a huge part of my life and I've been able to help kind of grow the company in my involvement with it.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and say that probably most teens have no idea what a brand transformation
Yes.
company is. So go into a little bit more detail about what that is.
Yes, so a brand transformation company, it is a little bit difficult to explain. What we do is we go into organizations, and they could be healthcare organizations, they could be private practice groups. So by that I mean law firms, for instance, business organizations. We've done higher education like universities and colleges, and we go in and we help them get clarity around their brands. We help them kind of define the trajectory of where they want their organizations to go in 5, 10, 15, even 20 years in the future. And we help them build a plan and a platform to get them there. So when I say brand transformation, what I mean by that is we help organizations transform their brands in a way that is meaningful to the people who work there, people who go there, to their customers, their employees, really anybody that brand engages with.
Okay, and so your title was.
My title is Executive Creative Director.
And what does that mean? What do you do?
Oh, I do so much. um, so an executive creative director basically runs or at least leads the creative direction of a project. And so if many of your kids are familiar with advertising agencies,
Okay.
marketing initiatives, they get to create a lot of the messages that brands put out there, whether it's through Facebook or Instagram, the stories. And so what my role is in helping to kind of helping my clients go through the journey of what those stories become, what those storylines are. And that includes whether it's doing a commercial, whether it is putting together a press release, whether it is building a website, all the things that organizations do to connect with their stakeholders. And stakeholders, obviously, what I mean by that is their employees, their customers, and basically the world.
So with that, what was your favorite subject in school?
So my favorite subject was actually science. I took marine biology, was one of my favorite classes, and I took it 3 times in high school. I took 3 years of it. Unfortunately, what that meant is that I didn't take chemistry when I should have, and I took it in my senior year and failed chemistry. But science was definitely something that I've always been really interested in, and just kind of the intricacies of the world, really.
So how did that, loving science, where did you go to college?
I went to college at the University of West Florida, and I decided to stay local because I felt that the University of West Florida really provided a very intimate environment to learn from your professors. And I got a lot of, I built a lot of relationships with the students that were in the programs with me, and as well as the faculty members. And I actually originally went to school for marine biology. That was my major when I first started. And when I mentioned chemistry earlier, I had to take chemistry as part of my program, and I was so distraught about it because I knew how bad I was in it. I actually changed my majors from marine biology to communications.
So that's how you became a communications major.
Yes,
Very
that's how I
interesting.
became a communications major. Yes.
Okay. So what helped you besides your GPA and getting your degree? What helped you either while you were in college or your first job out of college? How did that get you? What did you need to be successful as a communications major or graduate?
It's a really good question. What helped me in my journey to becoming, I think, or to be where I'm at today? That's a really good question. I don't know if I could answer that because honestly, when I was in college, I really had no idea. I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew there were things that I really enjoyed. And certainly as I look back now, I mean, it's almost 20 years ago. I know I look young. I think that there are things that I could have done better. And I think where how I was able to get to where I am today is because of the relationships that I built with mostly a lot of my colleagues in the program. I was able to get into my first job because I knew somebody who was in a class with me. I was able to get into my second job because somebody else that I was in a club with on campus knew that I did some work and said, "Hey, you really should look at this." And so I think the old adage that it's not in what you do, it's really who you know. I think that there's really it's what you do and who you know. And I think that's really, really important. And if I had to go back, I definitely would mine a lot more of the relationships that I probably overlooked or didn't think about.
Okay. What would you say is the salary range of like your career or communications major? I know that's very broad.
It is very broad. I mean, communications entails a lot. Whether you're a coordinator who's just kind of helping put stuff on social media, or whether you're an executive level person, or even a vice president, the range can go anywhere from 30 to 40,000 as a base to all the way to 160,000, depending on it's a very, very wide range. Mm-hmm. So I think that depending on what your individual interests are. Definitely look at location where you want to be. That takes into account what kind of salary range you're gonna you could potentially receive. But I think beyond salary, I think we focus so much on the money. I think increasingly more and more people nowadays are really focusing on what brings them fulfillment. And I really encourage a lot of kids to focus on that. What is going to bring you fulfillment? Because if you're in a fulfilling job, you may not get a large salary, but your quality of life is going to be so much better, because you could be in $160,000, $170,000 paid bracket and just lead a miserable life.
Well, that brings me right into the next question. What do people find hard about your job, and then what do you love about your job?
What do people find hard about my job, and what do people love about my job? Well, I'm the only person I know that has my job. So I think what I love about my job is really being able to help people find clarity, because I think there's a lot of confusion out there. We're so inundated with a lot of messaging, who I need to be. Oh, there's a model here. I need to be this. I need to be that. And that causes a lot of confusion for a lot of people. I mean, not just younger people, but also even professionals, people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And so I think that what I really enjoy about my job is being able to sit down with these individuals and help them clarify, articulate, crystallize what it is that is important to them, and then going out there and helping them put that messaging out there.
Okay. And then the final question I have for you, because I think as a high school student, sometimes we think, I remember I was a marketing major, I was like, oh my gosh, how boring, I'll be behind a desk all day. Little did I know that's not what it is. So what is your typical day like?
Wow, yeah, my typical day is very, very, every day is different. Normally my Fridays are very kind of lax, and today I am in meeting after meeting after meeting. But I do think that, especially in this kind of growing age, there's a lot more options available to younger kids. You can work remotely. You can work, part-time in an office versus in your home. You can telecommute. So there's a lot more avenues available to people. And I think it really just depends on where you want to be. If you're somebody younger and you may have a kid, right? You need to have some more flexibility. My typical day consists of me coming in at between 8:30 and 9 o'clock and jumping from meeting to meeting, and then not leaving typically until 6 or 7 o'clock. That's the reality of my business. But I also, and some people may find that really just, I don't want to do that. But because I enjoy helping people so much, it motivates me, it energizes me. So I'm not always behind a desk all the time. I'm always on my feet, and rarely do I stop. Rarely does it slow down. And you have to kind of enjoy that kind of environment to really thrive in it.
Perfect. Kris, thank you so much for being one of our career mentors. We really appreciate your help.
Thank you for reaching out and having me be part of this process. I really appreciate it.
Okay.